All right. Oh, boy. My name is Ken, and I'm an alcoholic. And first, I want to thank Mike for inviting us down to participate in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. I want to thank Sia for asking me to tag along. I want to welcome the newcomers to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and just hello to everybody else in the room. 10 minutes, all right. I'm trying to figure out something because, it's like, it's hard. The bottom line is when they read chapter 3, something inside of me just lights up. It wasn't always that way. When I first came into Alcoholics Anonymous, when I was a newcomer, I did not believe I was an alcoholic. I heard all you guys talk about your powerlessness. That wasn't my story. I heard you talk about how you got carried away and did things when you were drinking, and that wasn't my story. I never, got drunk by accident. I always went to the liquor store and bought something or had it delivered. I never, I did get arrested one time when my wife was leaving me. She called the SWAT team, and they came and arrested me. But that wasn't my fault. That was her fault. Just because I'd been on a 3-day binge and she was sneaking out, that doesn't have any bearing on anything. So I came in this program, and I was convinced that you might be an alcoholic, but I wasn't, because I was not powerless over alcohol. And to prove it, of course, I'd go to a meeting and have a drink and go take a 30-day chip, or sneak in the bathroom and do another substance and go take a 30-day chip at that meeting. And I just wasn't believing that powerlessness line. I heard your stories, and it was nice, but, I just didn't believe it. I did not believe that I was powerless over alcohol. And I would hear people talking about it, and I was around the program, and finally one guy who was meeting me at meetings and taking me to meetings now and then, he said, do you think you've got a problem with drugs or alcohol? And I said, no. He says, and you can really stay sober until tomorrow. And I said, of course I can. And he says, and I'll pick you up and take you to a meeting. And I said, all right, fine. So I stayed sober, and it wasn't that hard. And I stayed sober a few more days, and it wasn't that hard. And so I'm thinking, this sobriety stuff isn't that hard. And he would pick me up and take me to meetings, and I took an honest 30-day chip, and a 60-day chip, and a 90-day chip, and I was around and I'm feeling good. And a guy I used to know for a long time came over to my house, and he said, you're really looking good, and what's going on? And I said, I'm sober. I'm in AA now, and he says, you're an alcoholic? And I went, no, but, I'm sober, and I'm getting a new life, and I'm doing this kind of thing, and, I'm feeling better, and I'm looking better. And he said, well, so we started talking about it. And he said, do you mind if I have a drink? And I said, no. So he went and had a drink, and we're talking, and I'm reading him the big book, and I'm showing him how he's got a problem, because I know he's got a problem. I used to party with him, and I knew how he got carried away. So I'm figuring I'll 12-step him, into the program. And so I'm reading him the big book. And I'm explaining to him the secret, passages and the really understanding of the big book. And I'm reading him chapter 3. And I will never forget that part. I am reading him chapter 3. And he got a funny look on his face. And he said, what are you going to tell him tomorrow? And I said, what do you mean? He says, you just drank my drink. And I looked down, and the glass was in my hand. And I felt that little warm feeling. And I'm like, well, I'll tell him I'm a newcomer. No biggie. We'll do it together. We'll get sober together. Like it's on the buddy system. And he's like, all right, fine. Is it that easy? And I go, yeah, I'm a newcomer, and I continued reading a little more in chapter 3, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, if you're starting over, why don't I go get some Coke, and you go get some vodka, and we'll party. And I went, fine, So out of the house I go, and I get my stuff, and he goes out, gets his stuff, and we come back, and I'm reading him the big book now, and having a little drink, and, doing a few lines, and really doing a good job reading it, And this goes on till about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then he gets up and goes to the bathroom. And, of course, being a good alcoholic, I steal half the cocaine. And he comes back into the room, and he says, where did it go? And I said, I just did one line and whatever. And let's get another drink. And he's like, no, you're stealing from me. We get in a fight. He storms out. And I looked down at my watch, and it was 5 minutes after 2. And I knew the liquor store was closed. And I panicked. And then I went into the kitchen and realized I had almost a full bottle of vodka. So I'm okay, and I'm drinking, and I'm doing the stuff that I stole. And the phone rings, and it's my roommate. Can he come home now? Because he had come in and seen us, drinking. And he's like, I said, well, yeah, sure. He's, no, you got to pour it down the toilet. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. And that started it. And I put away the bottle of vodka. I put away a lot of the cocaine. And I am drinking, and I am insane, and people are calling me up. Kenny, just go pour it down the toilet. And you don't understand. And when I ran out of the vodka, I tore through the house looking for anything with alcohol in it. I found a quart bottle of Listerine. And I started drinking the Listerine and being a creative alcoholic. It tastes horrible, and it after the first couple of gulps, it really is just, so I mix it with iced tea and a lot of sugar. And, oh, we're getting picky now, right? Okay. And, I'm drinking the Listerine. It's mint julep, sort of. And I'm going insane, and I'm drinking it. And this goes on for hours, and about 6 o'clock in the morning, I get up and walk in the bathroom to take the last 3 fingers of the Listerine. And I look in the mirror, and I saw what I look like. And I say to the newcomer, and I mean to everybody in here, I saw what I look like. I had that moment of clarity that they talk about. I saw that I was dying. I saw that I was powerless over alcohol, that left to my own devices, I would drink, that left alone or working this program alone, I would drink. And that scared me to the very bottom of my soul, because at that moment I realized for the first time in my life that I was an alcoholic. And I went into the bedroom, and I got on my knees, and I said, God, help me. I'm an alcoholic, and I will do anything, that I need to do. I will do anything. I can't do this. I can't do this alone. I can't do it. I can't stay sober without help. Please, God, help me. I will do anything. And something happened. I surrendered. I'm broken. And I have been sober now for a little over 14 years, one day at a time. I have been given a new life, one day at a time. I have gotten a second chance, one day at a time. And it doesn't mean, if you're new, it doesn't mean that I don't think about drinking. I just don't pick it up. It doesn't mean that I don't sit on my knees in my bedroom and want to drink sometimes so bad I can taste it, and I get on the phone and tell somebody that, And I'm always afraid they're going to laugh at me or put me down because I'm thinking about having a drink. But they don't. They reach out. And if they don't reach out, I don't call back. I got a shot at a life in this program. And I want to welcome the newcomers, and I hope you get that shot, one day at a time. The miracle of the program. I want to get up here and I want to say the magic words that get you sober. And I found out a long time ago there aren't any magic words. There's a magic action. You just don't pick up the drink, one day at a time. That's the magic of the program. In here, I got a choice. Some people like to hear this and some people don't. I've got the choice to drink every morning I get up. I can choose to drink or not today. I didn't have that choice before I got in the program. Left to my own devices, I drank. Even when I didn't realize it, I drank. Now, I've got the choice. And today I say no thank you. This minute I say no thank you. And for that I get to show up and say hi to you people and to thank you for my life. For that I thank you. All right? All right?